Don't you just hate it when bands start to succeed? I absolutely hate whenever up-and-coming bands start getting on magazine covers and just go on Rolling Stone. I mean, what is this nonsense? You're supposed to be an underground band. This is so stupid. You're just tarnishing what underground means. I am obviously joking. I hope none of you actually think that way, because if you do, stop doing it. Stop getting into that mindset where you feel like you are just a horrible person if you want to have a good career. I need you guys to start having a different mindset whenever a band is up and coming and starts to succeed. I understand that everybody wants to be one of those bands where they take a stance against the system, rage against the system. Don't go on no magazines, don't go on any Rolling Stone, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Don't do that, because no. I totally understand that type of mindset. I used to be in that type of mindset, but I grew up. I do understand where the frustration comes from. I do understand that a lot of people tend to change the type of music they make once they get signed to a bigger label. Before I get into the video, please like and subscribe. That would help me out a bunch. And you can click that bell notification. It'll let you know whenever I post a new video. And you won't miss a new Dumb Toes video. So hell yeah, do that. Today, I'm going to talk about a couple bands that are on fire and some bands I'm very passionate about. I just mentioned how there's just this system where a bunch of bands that are coming from the underground try to get signed and try to get more money so that they could make better projects. And people call this term selling out. And I don't agree with that. The bands that I'm going to talk about in this video are kind of on the up and coming, and they're just beginning to catch fire. The first band that I'm going to talk about and that I'm very passionate about is the band Rocket. Rocket is an alternative rock band from Los Angeles, California, and I've talked about this band in my Bands That Will Blow Up Predictions video 2024 edition. So that is kind of why I'm very pumped about these two bands, because those two bands were on that video. Rocket has appeared on Rolling Stone and they've appeared on NME. And it is awesome to see the growth of this band, not only in, our age group, which is like 20-year-olds or whatever, but also in the older generation. The older folks are also grabbing their arms and putting their arms around Rocket. Grabbing their arms is not the right term, but you know what I'm trying to say. They are welcoming Rocket with open arms. And how do I know this, you might ask? Well, I've seen Rocket in concert, and that was pretty much the age group that was watching Rocket. They were a bunch of older people, older folks that were just like, man, I gotta watch this band. And Rocket went bonkers. Rocket was explosive, and I'll get into detail about that right now. I seen them in concert in live action in Sacramento, California. I was there to watch Hello Mary, and I knew Rocket was going to be there too, so I went to go see both of them, and they killed it, and both of them killed it. And here are some straightaway takeaways that I took away from the band right when I saw them, right from the get-go, firsthand experience. I was like, wow, this band is very loud. This band is more than explosive. They're just very otherworldly in terms of their sound and the production and everything that they got going on in a live setting. I like to call them alternative rock because they have a lot of stuff going on. I guess you can call them indie rock as well, because they do have some indie rock roots, but they also hit the shoegaze button. So alternative rock, there's a lot of stuff going on. Just lump it into alternative rock. And one of my favorite things is how they dip their toes into a lot of different stuff, and they kind of just experiment with what everything comes their way, and they seem to excel at really any type of genre or subgenre. So that's the fun thing about Rocket. They have a lot of different sounds, and they're very good at each sound that they have, and it kind of keeps you on your toes because you don't know what you're going to expect, especially in a live setting. And it's crazy to think that they have so much growth already, and they only have an EP out. Dude, once they drop that full-length debut album, a lot of people are going to be listening to Rocket. A lot of people are going to be bumping their tunes, and everybody's going to be a Rocket fan at some point. The vocals are great, very sweet and clean. The drumming is just stupid. The drumming is insane. The guitar is obviously explosive as well, and both guitars are very clean with their tone and just punchy in the face, even though this isn't like a hardcore band or anything like that. That's what this band kind of has. They kind of have that in-your-face quality when you don't really expect that from a band that doesn't really look like could be explosive. And I don't know if that's a rude thing to say, but when you look at the band, you don't think that there's going to be this humongous ball of distortion and just loudness, but there is. And that's what's very sweet and very awesome about this band, and unexpected, I guess. They kind of just, have a lot of abilities, and the way that they use them catches you off guard, and that's very entertaining as a fan. This band is fairly new, and you can see that they've been grinding their sound because they have a lot of chemistry, and it showed when I was there in person. A lot of things are off the charts with this band. They blew the doors off. I think that's the right saying. Yeah, they really just blew my expectations away. They catapulted themselves into one of my favorite current bands, and whatever that means, whatever that may be, it really doesn't really mean anything. I'm just a guy talking about music on the internet, but I really love this band. Really big fan. Rocket's also going to be supporting Silver Sun Pickups, which is insane. And Rocket is also performing at the humongous Best Friends Forever Festival in October in Las Vegas, which is just a big opportunity for this band. Like I said, it's very crazy that they don't even have an album out, and a lot of people are gravitating towards their tunes. A lot of fans being created once they play in front of people. This band has a lot of different influences, and you can hear it in their tunes. A lot of people can gravitate towards their shoegaze stuff, or they can gravitate towards the indie rock, some mellow, pretty tunes. They really have a lot going on for any type of fan, and that's very exciting. Very pumped up about this band. Very happy for this band. So if you haven't given Rocket a chance, I would advise you to do so, because you're not going to miss the train, I guess. You can always hop on the Rocket train and or the rocket ship, and go up in space, because that's where they're going right now. Dude, I'm going crazy. That was a freaking bar. That was legendary. The next band on my list is Glixen, an obvious shoegaze, not pioneers, but up-and-coming shoegaze band. Legends, I might say. Honestly, anybody could have seen Glixen blowing up from a mile away or 100 miles away, because this band has got it. And in this modern world where shoegaze is on a revival tour, I guess, and I guess it never really died, but a lot of people are gravitating towards that shoegaze sound. And when you think of shoegaze in the modern sense, the modern day age, you think of Glixen right away at the top of that category. I've seen a lot of hate towards this band because of their image. They do have a clean cut image, and they just look really cool and like cool people, really. And that bothers a lot of people, which doesn't really make sense. That kind of tells me you've never really listened to them, or you've never really seen them live. And from a performance standpoint, when you watch a shoegaze band, you're not going to get moshing. You're not going to get any stage diving moments like that, because it's not really that type of music that garners that type of vibe. But this band still grabs your attention like that, which is crazy, bro. They really do grab your attention with their music. They really bombard you with this cloudy yet beautiful noise. And in a world where I talked about shoegaze, a lot of people are implementing shoegaze within their sound. The majority of people using shoegaze nowadays uses it more in a nu metal / shoegaze combination type of sense. And Glixen is not really in that category. They're more in the OG shoegaze type of sound, type of My Bloody Valentine, slow dive. Glixen sticks to the original form of this million guitar pedal filled world. They create soundscapes for everyday smiles and beautiful scenarios. Glixen has been touring like crazy as well. They have a lot of shows, and they're grinding, and that's an awesome thing to see, that this band really just wants to play music, get in front of a crowd, and just play their beautiful tunes. And that's what they do, man. They get a lot of fans because they are shoegaze. So yeah, man, they've been grinding, and they're also going to be supporting Dive on their tour, so that's going to be a wicked opportunity for them. There's a lot going on with both of these bands, and I never really understand why there's so much negativity towards Glixen more than Rocket, but man, I don't know. I think it's just rooted in some sort of jealousy or something like that, because I can't really get around that this music isn't good, because it is. And yes, music is subjective, yes, but they don't make this trash-filled music where it's like unbearable and unlistenable. A cool image, they have great tunes, and I guess you're gonna have haters at some point if you have that mixture. I genuinely want every band I talk about and every band in the world to have success, and not at just one burst of success. I want them to have a musical career. I want them to live off this type of music. It's a hard thing to achieve. It definitely is. And whatever step closer each band gets, I'm happy for them, and watching that in the process just gives me some type of joy. I do not blame any type of band capitalizing on their momentum, because I feel like we live in a world where you gotta just make money in some sort of way, and if you can do it with your music, please do that. That would be the best thing ever. Go make some money, go get that bag, secure yourself, secure your family, And if you could do that with music, please do so. Like I said, this is a life that, could go by any second. We got to support all these bands. We got to show love, buy the merch, buy tickets, buy all that stuff, man, because music is music and you got to keep the music alive. Like I said at the beginning of this video, I understand if a band wants to move on to a more safer sound or a poppier sound or whatever once they get signed to a big label. But that's just the band in general, that's what they want to do. Sometimes it just comes down to that. If you call it selling out, I understand, but I feel like every person needs to go get as much money as they can, and I'll always support that. How do you guys feel about both of these bands? I'm obviously very excited and very pumped up about this band because this whole video I've been amped up on some, juice. The music is great, and both of these bands don't even have an album out yet, so I can't even imagine the success that they're gonna have once they have albums out. I am very excited to see that. Big fan. Whenever these bands release an album, the floodgates will open, and hopefully you can catch this wave because I'm already on it. I hope to see you guys soon in this wave, on the wave. That's all I gotta say though. Please like and subscribe. Keep the music alive. Rocket and Glixen will never die.